Hi, beautiful people. I'm Shanika.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Corey.
I'm Kelsey, and we are Mother.
We are Black mothers
and artists in a big city.
Navigating motherhood for the first time.
Through a pandemic.
Sharing our personal experiences, the sweet moments with the kiss, mwah,
and all the shit they don't tell you.
Motherhood.
Raw.
Undressed.
And unapologetic.
This journey can be a mother.
Shut your mouth.
This is Mother.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our finale episode of Mother. Oh my God. I cannot believe it. Like something that started off as our good friend, Robert Hartwell, giving us this inspiration to just bring us together and do this thing. And we are now at this point where we are doing our finale episode while raising children for the first time in our lives. In a pandemic, it's just so wild, but I am just so incredibly proud of all of us for figuring out how to insert this little fun passion project into our lives some kind of miraculous way. I'm honored to be with you ladies every time that we come together and have these recordings. But how do you feel? Do you guys feel accomplished and stuff?
I'm currently watching Campbell roll around the crib because she doesn't want to sleep.
Oh.
She's insane.
Yep. I also had one of those days, Chloe. I couldn't put him down. He's been crying. He's all a mess. He's so I'm also that's where my head is at.
I know. That is the life of being a mom, which you don't realize. You just take it. You just you can't understand it until you become a mother.
Yep.
How all encompassing it is. And I just look at all the friends that did it before me and my parents and aunties, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow, you are all...
Another respect level there. Absolutely.
It's amazing, how you have to multitask constantly. Your brain has to be in 5 million different places at once. And especially because we're all working or getting back into the working scene too. So there's that element of just trying to juggle that. And I mean, I'm amazed that I'm so proud of us, honestly, that we've been able to pull this together. We've all had scheduling snafus and having to reschedule and doing the whole thing. So we've all been so flexible with each other and had so much grace with each other. And that's just something that you have to have when you become a mom, because there's so much unpredictability and you have to constantly stay on your toes. I mean, planning is hilarious when you have a baby.
Absolutely.
What is planning?
Right.
No.
And
I think he might sleep right now, or he'll take a nap around this time on that day.
A nap, exactly. An evening nap, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No way.
You know what? It just goes to show you that community is everything. You really can't, having community. One thing that's been so beautiful about having Mother is the fact that, it really, as much as we are sharing with other people and hopefully inspiring other people, it really is just a sacred little place for us to go and connect with people, with other women that are going through the exact same thing that we are going through, with someone who understands and something that we can look forward to. It's even when you're oh God, I got to add Mother podcast to my schedule. When you get on, I'm always oh, I leave so full at the end, because I'm just you don't even realize that you needed that moment to just get it off your chest and to just connect and be in community with each other. Because sometimes you can just be so in your own head and in your own family world and in your own, how am I going to do this vibe, right? That you forget that sometimes you really do just need to have a moment to just connect with other women and other moms and just have a moment. But today, for our listeners, for our finale, we decided to do something a little bit more fun and spontaneous. Of course, all of our conversations are really real and raw, but we do some planning, but this one is really, really spontaneous. So I'm excited to see the outcome of it. But we titled this one Mommy Confessions. Confessions, and that can go in many different directions, ladies. It can go in many different directions, but I thought that this would be a fun one to do, because how often do you get to like admit some of the taboo things, or find out if other women were thinking or feeling the exact same thing that you were thinking or feeling, without judgment, honestly, without judgment, to just have a moment to kind of like have a little fun and just say whatever it is that you might be thinking, that you're like, I wonder if other people feel this way. So yeah, I mean, who wants to start? How do we want to start? Who wants to like do a confession first?
I'll go. The confession I have is that I definitely didn't really feel anything for Campbell at the beginning. And I know that is very taboo, but I just didn't. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I think I was so overwhelmed by everything that I just had no space to even like think about that, which is weird. I just was so busy. Obviously, everyone knows, because I talk about all the time, like my struggle with breastfeeding, but like, getting recovering obviously from giving birth and all the hormones and everything that comes with that, plus being tired, plus like I just feel like I was so, I've got to keep this thing alive, that I just didn't have space in my head to understand how I felt about this thing I was keeping alive. And it obviously came later, but that's like a big confession for me.
Oh, I bet someone's like listening in their car or something right now, being like, God damn it, I thought I was the only one, because people just like breastfeeding. Everybody make it seem like that magical moment is supposed to be so natural for everyone. And, instant bond, instant connection. I mean, I totally understand like how that could be so, Chloe, what you went through, because it really is a lot going on after this being comes out of you, and you're really trying to figure it out, especially when it's the first one. Yeah. I'd imagine maybe like by number 2, I don't know, but maybe possibly by number 2, you kind of know what to expect. You kind of done the whole regalia.
I've already thought, oh, if I were to have another one, because I know where it's going to go. And now I understand, at this point, she's going to start like understanding things. Like, I feel like the love will be there so immediately with the second, because I understand the growth of the baby now.
Absolutely. Totally.
Yeah. I guess in relation to that, I absolutely could not wait for the first 3 months to be over. It's like, please, Lord, let this child just grow and get past these I'm over it. It feels like those first 6 weeks, I was like, dear God, how, why is this happening right now? Like, when is this over? And like a friend of mine always says, like, don't wish time away. And I was like, screw that. I'm wishing time away. I need him to get a little bit bigger.
Man, I remember my friend said, just get through the first 6 weeks. And I was at week 2. And I was like, what? 6 weeks felt like decades away.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I was ready. So, and each stage I find moments of it, I'm just like, okay, I'll be going to get a little bit older. We can get past this part too. It's like, okay. Oh.
I know, like at this point, I'm ready for them to start talking. Just tell me what you want.
Yeah.
That's all. I just need you to talk to me.
Figure it out. Because this guessing game.
Oh, God.
I'm definitely probably going to get into the baby sign language, because our friend Bahia was telling me about how she did it with her son. And it really helped with the tantrum. So that might have to become a thing. We've got a lot of patience, but it might have to become a thing, because I'm like, I'm just ready for you to just start talking to me. So I'm with you. I'm like, I'm almost like, okay, we're 6 months. Great. I made it. Okay. Now, when are we going to get to when you start talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Weird, like this weird push and pull between like, slow down and like, hurry up. Because it's like, I look at Carver and there's sometimes where he's like sleeping and I'm like looking at pictures from when he was fresh out the womb. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he was so small. And like, you know, when I was breastfeeding him, he wasn't like log rolling and he just was like staying in one place. Oh, I miss that. But then I also think about that was horrible. Like my vagina hurt and I was exhausted and I was hormonal and just all the things that I just felt so unlike myself for basically the first 3 months that I was like, this, I can't wait for this to be over. So it's like such a weird feeling of wanting time to stop, but also wanting time to hurry up because every new stage is exciting, but it's also a lot, you know, like the three of us, Shanika, Chloe, and myself, we hung out yesterday and just watching Campbell because Campbell's over a year old now and like watching all the things that she's doing and like walking around and it looks so exciting. But I also know that it's so exhausting, like to have to, you know, Grant and Carver they can't move around yet. So even though there's still like a lot of stuff that's going on with them, we can just kind of like lay them down in a place and walk away for a second. But with Campbell, it's like, nuh-uh, she's on the move and you cannot keep your eyes off of her for 1 second. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. That's coming up next.
And they move quick. Ooh, she moves fast. I was like, oh my goodness. Before I knew it, she was almost taking the bookshelf down. I was like, oh my God.
When she started grabbing those music sheets, I was like, no!
Oh my goodness. But God bless our friend Bahia because she's been through it before. So she was like so chill about it.
Yeah,
I love being in like moms who have 16-year-olds because they're just like looking at us like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're just like, oh, you have no idea. This is, oh, you just have no idea. You know, like this is only the tip of the iceberg that you're seeing right now. It's so funny. Yeah. Let's see. What is my confession? Obviously, you guys know that I think I've said this before to people, but my confession is that during pregnancy, I felt my absolute sexiest and I was so freaking horny. Like I crave sex like crazy when I was pregnant. And I'm like, how many other women feel this way? Because most of the time everybody's like, oh, your hormones are going crazy. You don't want to be touched. You don't want to be bothered. But I felt the exact opposite, like the exact opposite. So that is my mommy confession for
work to you. Cause I was like, don't touch me.
Don't touch
I feel like I can relate to you, Shanika. Yeah, I definitely understand that. And I feel like now I'm like, oh God, it's the last thing I want to do. But I'm like, this girl, she's now standing up in the crib, walking around the crib. Go to sleep, Campbell. But yeah, no, now I'm like, boobs are for Campbell only. But before, yeah, I wish I kind of appreciated that more now.
Same.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it was crazy because I honestly didn't expect to feel, not that I didn't think that, you know, a pregnant woman is beautiful and I couldn't see the beauty in that, but I didn't expect myself, you know, I guess because you just always see so many women complaining about getting bigger and how their body is changing and they can't control it. And I found that I found so much beauty in the fact that like I was getting hips and more boobs and my face was filling out and it was round. I don't know. It was really interesting that like I just felt my sexiest. And so then therefore like I had this beautiful attraction to me. And then I wanted to be like loved on like that because I felt like, girl, you got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's only so much you can do as the belly gets big. But I just was like, I wonder how many people feel this way because nobody talks about that. You know what I mean? Like I had to like Google that feeling and what I could do, what I can't do, what's safe to do, you know, everything like that. And it was interesting to find it. And everybody that was blogging about it, it was almost like they were a breath of fresh air, that there were other people that wanted to hear and know about that. So maybe that's something we do for season 2. Like we bring in an expert or something and, you know, they can talk about that and normalize it, normalize the conversation. So a part of what we want to do with Mother, well, what has been our goal is to normalize conversations that just aren't talked about or that are taboo. And I feel like that's one of them. Like nobody wants to talk about having a healthy sex life while you are also pregnant because it just seems so wrong. But I think that, you know, there should still be a way for you to connect with your partner, and you should still feel know that it's okay to be loved on and to be touched and all the things, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that is something that we maybe get spicier and touch on for season 2, and bring in someone to, you know, let women know that it's okay and how to do it safely and healthy.
Well, it's funny because I feel like things I've heard have been women actually want to have sex, but the men are the ones that are like, ooh, I don't know.
I know. And that's why they need to listen to that episode, because their little pea brain, it just makes them think that they're going to hurt the baby. And it's like, you ain't going to hurt that baby. Come on now. Let your ego back up for 5 seconds. You ain't gonna hurt that baby. You ain't nowhere near that baby. You know what I'm saying?
All of our faces right now.
Yeah.
No words being spoken.
No words, just faces. Just
God bless the people that are only listening on Spotify. You're gonna have to come to the YouTube to really understand where the conversation flow is going with the faces. But you're right. It is a lot with the men. But I think it's just because, once again, it's not talked about. So they too don't really know what they can do, what can't be done, know that it's safe, know that it's not going to hurt you or hurt baby. Like, it was a question.
It's psychological. Like, I think it's psychological too, because I think in theory, everybody knows that. But there's something about like, oh, 3's a crowd. Whoa. You know what I mean? Like, there's another human being in the midst here, you know, that feels a little weird in the ethereal world.
Yeah. Especially when they start moving and stuff like that.
Right.
Look at that little chunk hand.
I know.
Oh, I just want to eat up his arm.
Guys, it's just crazy. See? Oh my God. Buddy.
They're so mobile. They're so mobile.
Corey, what's your mommy confession?
You know, I had a lot of crazy things happen. I mean, this may take it a little dark, but you know, it's real. And it's something that's still kind of lingering a little bit for me, but I have had like such a strange feeling of my mortality. I've been very hyper aware of it since I've become a mom.
Oh my God. I've had it too.
Yeah.
It
was really crazy. And actually, like, it might've been last week or the week before last, I had a whole moment. I was like pumping and I was looking at Wayne, and like he was working on the computer, and then I just started sobbing, and I just had this really intense, visceral moment of like, I don't want to miss anything that happens in Carver's life. And I know that that's not realistic. And, you know, it's something that is just, it's a strange thing to describe, like just thinking about that. And I think also because in my life recently, I've had a lot of death around me recently, and more than I've had in my life. But I also think there's something about the newness of life and you giving birth to this new life and knowing that you are not a new life anymore. That was something that really became glaringly real for me. Every time I look at Carver, I'm like, wow, he's so fresh and he's so new, and I'm not. You know, and like I'm not old, but it's just such a weird thing. And there are moments when I feel really empowered by the fact that I have life experience that I can share with him and help him to grow up in. But there's also parts of it that feel so scary because all I want to do is be there for everything that he experiences in his life. And I don't want to miss anything. So yeah, like my mortality, like being aware of death for myself and for Wayne, has been like visceral. Like I've always known it, but it's been like very, very real for me, since I've become a mom.
I had this conversation a few weeks ago with my friend, because it's every time I'm feeding her, and I guess I just have that alone time with her, and I just think about it. And I'm like, is this crazy that I'm thinking? I'm so happy in a weird way to hear that you think about it too, because yeah, it is that thing of the newness of life, and it makes you realize that your life is, you know, passing you by, and we're all going to reach a point. And it is that thing. I think it is having a child makes you see the circle of life, you know?
100%. Like, you see the very beginnings of it. Like, we experience it. And for me personally, because I don't have any siblings, and Carver is the first baby that I've ever like watched from birth all the way through, like seeing every single part of it. And so there's something about experiencing like the freshness of that. And, you know, it causing me to reflect on my own life, and what I want to accomplish and what I want to leave for him, you know, like what's important to me to set up so that he has, you know, the best possible life when Wayne and I aren't here anymore, you know?
And, you know, it's less about my mortality, and I think more about Grant's and Jared's for me. For me, I just like don't want anything to happen to them. Like, I'm just like, I've been like hyper protective mode, as if my, you know, strong husband needs that. But I just am like in hyper overprotection mode, because I just think about like, I don't know, especially because, you know, Jared has to work all over the boroughs. He's all over New York, even some parts of New York that you don't really want to be in. Okay. And I just think about that. I'm just like, every time he makes it home, I'm always just so happy that he's freaking made it home, because I'm just like, I do not want anything to happen to him. And we've been, for listeners that don't know, Jared and I have been together for a long time. We're high school sweethearts. But for some, like now that Grant is here, it's even more of me just being like, Lord, please don't let anything happen to my husband and to my son. And I, before I was pregnant, I just was so like, I always wanted to raise a kid in New York and have a city kid. I love how independent they are and, you know, all the things, but that has gotten scarier to me too. Now that he's actually here, that fantasy of raising a city kid and him being independent and going around and like, now that's scarier to me. Now I'm like, oh my God, like one day I am going to have to actually like release him.
And now you understand as well why people move out.
Exactly. Well, and for my friends that don't move out, I understand even more why it took them so long to let them go to the corner store. You know, simple things like that. Like, I have one family that I'm really, really close to. I did a show with her son, and we just became family. I used to always be like, just let him go to the store. He's fine. He's responsible. But now I get why she's like, no, I'm not letting him go to the store. And he's 14, you know, things like that. But yeah, it's less about like me and how I feel about my mortality, but how I feel about them. And I don't know if it's because I was like, I don't know if I could handle that. You know what I mean? If anything were, you know, to happen.
I think also too the fact that, you know, COVID is around and was around and still around. Like, COVID was just literally out here taking husbands away, like taking loved ones away, you know, like my husband and I, we lost some family members, and like it definitely not like you don't think that anything can happen or, you know, whatever, like being like things happen all the time. But like there was this visceral thing that everyone knew about that was literally just like snatching people away. And it made it just changed my perspective on what you take for granted, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so real. And I think too, like Shanika, I can identify with the husband thing too. I mean, I was already like, you know, I'm married to a Black man. And so the idea of like every time he leaves, it's like I'm a little tense. That was already in existence before we had children. And now it's like, even more so, like now I ask him, he likes to go run around Prospect Park, and I ask him to please not do that once it gets dark outside. Like it doesn't make me feel comfortable, and I feel really nervous when he does it, and I'm stressed the whole time he's gone. And like that is very real, because I'm like, all I want for Carver is to be able to have both of us here for as long as possible until it is our time to go, and that he has had both parents and had both of us pouring into him for his life for as long as he can have that. So I totally identify with that too, just like feeling the concern and worry about that. And also like, it's kind of changed my perspective too. Like when I look at my own parents, and like, we're kind of in that weird middle place where it's like, now my parents have moved into a whole nother stage also, like they are grandparents now. And like, so that means that they are older too, and I think it's also, I feel this way because we lost our father-in-law, my husband's father. So I think that is why that's also very real for me too, of feeling loss and the circle and the grand circle of things. But I also find it to be really beautiful. But I think it's important for moms to feel okay to talk about that, because I think that is a very real part of it. And sometimes like on social media, you see this very like, you see extremes, right? Like you see the like, motherhood is horrible and this is so hard. And like, why would anyone do this? And then you see the other extreme of like, it's just so amazing. And like, I just love it so much. And I love my baby. I'm like so obsessed with my baby. And like, I just think my baby's perfect. And like the gray area is actually most of motherhood. So far for me, like that's been my experience is I'm constantly ebbing and flowing in the gray area of like, this is really hard, but I also am obsessed with it. How am I going to be a working mom? All I want to do is stay home. All I want to do is go to work. Like it's just constantly that like that middle gray area. And so I'm really so happy that we can have these candid conversations, because I just think that there's such a need for moms to feel okay to be in that place, and that it's okay for you to not have these extreme emotions all the time. Like sometimes it really is just like, I'm feeling neutral about all of this.
And you don't have to have all the answers all the freaking time. You don't have to know the answer. You don't have to follow any rules. You don't have to follow any books. You don't have to follow any other person's journey. It's one thing to be inspired. It's one thing to get advice, but ultimately, like, you just got to go with the freaking flow and know that every day is going to be different and new, and that there's nothing wrong with you if yesterday you were so in love with baby and today you just like, you know what? Me and you gonna fight today. Like really, we gonna fight. Put your hands up, put your gloves on, mommy and baby. Round one. Let's
meet in the ring, kid, and you'll probably win because I'm too tired.
You'll probably win, absolutely. Sometimes they swing and it is really hard.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts. I'm like, whoa, where did you get that punch from? Do we need to like get you into boxing immediately or something? I don't even know.
My son really hurts me on a regular basis.
Like swinging so hard. I'm like, what is happening?
Maybe that's a boy thing.
Maybe.
I haven't had too much of the swinging, but it's the vocals for me.
Yes, for the listeners, Campbell is a soprano.
Campbell's got the vocals.
Yeah, Campbell is a soprano.
The whistle tones. Wow.
He is a soprano.
And it's just the crying. She wakes up from every nap and in the morning crying. And I don't like, I'm like, is it because I don't watch the monitor for when she wakes up? So I just leave it too long. So then she just starts. But I don't know.
I think it's just a communication thing. I think it's just become the way she communicates with you. And so she's connected it to,
come up.
Mommy
They're
can
gonna come
know
get
that
me.
I'm awake.
Yeah.
I really do think it's just as simple as that she just doesn't have words yet. So she just, she knows she's connected that, if mommy's going to pick me up and come in here, if I do a little cry,
Yeah, those, I mean, she can put on those waterworks like
I know low key, sometimes I do think they're faking it. I I think I've caught Grant
Oh,
faking it a few
yeah,
times.
100% fake.
And he's
it.
only
Yeah.
6 months, and I'm like,
Carver
how do you
cries
already
without
know how to
tears.
fake it?
Yes, he cries without tears all the time. I'm like, there are no tears coming out of your eyes, little boy. You are fine.
Oh, Campbell has the tears though, but I know it's fake. The tears come out so quick. I don't know how she does it. Someone's gonna be on this podcast being like, she's actually emotionally
Yeah, somebody's going to be listening to us, and they're going to be like, these mothers are emotionally neglecting their children.
Promise she does smile a lot, and she's a very happy baby.
I dare them.
Oh, look,
and I will tell them then, record a day in the life of your life, and I would like to see different.
Yeah, for real.
And until you can do that, you can't judge or say nothing to me,
It's
honey.
true.
Because we know that our babies are joyful and they go through many ranges of emotion just like we do. I think that is one of the other like miraculous things that I'm noticing is just they're so young, but they already experience so many different emotions without having experienced so much life. I'm like, how do you know frustration? How do you know, ultimate amount of joy to the point where he is shaking because he's just so happy and so excited? How do you know when you're just not into a person's energy? Like they know and they haven't even experienced life. I think that is just so amazing. Like that just goes to show you that gut feeling is real.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a prime example of like, you really should follow your gut, because if a baby who hasn't experienced life can like follow their gut instinct immediately, we should be able to do the exact same thing. And we are more experienced with other human beings, other people. You know what I mean?
And I think Kyle always says it really well. He's like, they have a magic in them that we lose as we get older, that they can, they see things we don't see. And I honestly believe that, because they can read energy so quickly, and they see things because they're open to everything, whereas we, as we get older, are just so closed off and we already have decisions made about how we act to things, whereas they are just so open and they see things just exactly how it is.
Y'all, this is gonna sound real woo-woo, foo-foo, boo-boo-boo, but I'm saying it. So while I was trying to get pregnant, I was like researching this philosophy called like spirit babies. I don't know if y'all have heard of this, but the idea that babies kind of like live in this, it's kind of like similar to that movie Soul.
Like Soul?
Yes. But it's like there are people who've like researched this and like done full like not experiments, but like they've written books about like the idea behind spiritual babies and how like every baby chooses a family and all that sort of stuff, and how they have, because they are the closest connection between the spirit world and here on earth, right? And I really believe that specifically for our family, because about 2 months after my son was born, my father-in-law passed away, but I really felt like there was a connection between the two of them before he passed away. And I really, really, really believe that Carver was seeing him a lot when he was first born, because there'd be these moments where he'd just be staring in this one corner in our bedroom, and he would look and he would start smiling. And I was like, do you see Pop? Like, I really, really believe that. And I feel that it was almost like my dad was like ushering Carver into the world. And I think that Kyle is totally right. Like there's a world where they can see auras, they can see energy, they feel people's energy. I also think Carver really responds to sometimes my energy. Like when I'm feeling frantic, then he feels frantic. And so like he can feel and really receive energy so much more open and freely than we can as adults, because we've built up all of these walls, and there's been a lot of things that we've had that have caused us to lose that ability. And I think that's part of what meditation is about, is kind of trying to get back to the child, right? Like trying to get back to seeing the world in that way. And there was something that we were talking about a little bit yesterday about like being so actively present, because that's what babies are. They're in the moment. They're not thinking about the future, and they're not thinking about the past at all, because for them, those concepts are not even real for them yet. They're like, right now I am hungry, so I'm going to cry. And I don't actually see in the future that my mom is going to come and feed me. So I'm going to continue to cry until she does what I need, because in this moment, this is what I need and I'm not getting it right now. And I just think it's so incredible to watch them kind of experience and figure those things out. And that's one of my goals as a parent. And Wayne and I talk about that all the time. It's just like, how do we maintain that for him as much as we can? Like, obviously we know that life is going to be, there's going to be challenges, and there are going to be things that he experiences that are going to shift that a little bit. But how do we keep that alive for as long as possible, you know, and keep him connected to the present moment and not force him to be so stressed about the things that are coming, or to be so harped on the things that have already happened that he can't live in the moment, you know?
Man, I connect with everything you just said. My grandmother, who I was extremely close to, passed before Grant was born. And when he came home, anytime he would be in that crib and we would look at him on the monitor, he would be smiling and playing with some. And I'm like, I think he was playing with my grandmother and with Jared's grandfather. They both passed within like a few weeks from each other. And I connect with that. I really do believe that. And I remember one time, a few months after Grant was born, I was having, a really hard moment emotionally. Like, I just lost it. I had a breakdown. And I called my friend Jasmine, who we just connect spiritually so deeply. And she just kept telling me, put your feet on the ground, you aren't breathing, take some deep breaths, put your hand on your chest and remind yourself that you are here. And when I did that, I could hear my grandmother constantly saying, like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And there was just this warmth and comfort and strength that I got from that. And I really believe they just connect together, and that she's around and he sees her, because you're right. They have these moments where they're just like smiling on them. And I think that is why, like, that they are talking to them and playing with them and connecting with them in that way. And Corey, I know you can relate to this, because we're similar in that, like, we're planners. We have a particular way we like things to go and everything. But this is probably the most free flowing I've ever been in my entire life dealing with this kid, because I kind of almost have no choice but to kind of just go with his flow and to be on demand. So I'm saying that to say that, you know, how you were saying you and Wayne are, you know, you hope that you can keep that with him. I almost feel like we almost aren't going to have a choice, because, you know, the more that we just kind of go with their flow, it almost seems like it'll be more stressful if we try to go against what the flow of life is naturally doing. You know what I mean? What they're kind of naturally teaching us. And that's so interesting. Like, you never thought that your kid would be teaching you something, that you would be always in the teacher's seat. But he's teaching me so much. He's teaching me to be a little bit more laid back. He's teaching me, you know, to just go with the flow and to kind of go by the beat of my own drum that much more, because all these books tell you, oh, at this point, they should be doing this. You should be teaching them how to do this. You should be sleep training this way and this, that. And it is just so much that it's like every kid doesn't respond the same. You have to know your kid and what kind of kid you have and how you're going to go about this thing. And it really is kind of like, okay, Grant, well, since you don't want to do that, show mommy how you want to do it. Show mommy how you want to do that. And every parent, and parenting is so different. Like, I know that there's probably some parents listening to me now, like, absolutely not. You need to let him know how it's going. But I'm kind of like, I don't know. I get what my mom said, because I told my mom, like, oh no, we're going to be doing it like this, and we're going to have this, and he's never going to be in my bed and all this and that. And she's like, okay. She just kept saying, like, okay. He's going to, okay, you think that kid is going to show you how life is going to go down, girl. Not saying he's going to be running me. Okay, hello, I am a Southern traditional woman from Atlanta, Georgia. He ain't going to be running me. Okay. But we gonna find a good balance. I feel like there's gonna be, I feel like that flow. I like the flow. And I didn't think I was gonna like the flow because I'm such a planner and I like structure and I like organization, especially when it comes to life. But yeah, I think I'm gonna I'm enjoying the bit of the flow. But Kelsey, did you tell us? I know you agree with Chloe, but do you have a mommy confession that you want to share?
No, I mean mine was that I hated sorry, that's so harsh. I love you.
Tell the truth, honey. It's okay.
No, it's
okay.
Tell the truth, girl. Tell the truth.
Those first 3 months, I was ready for those to be over with. And I also did not like postpartum. Postpartum sucked.
Yeah.
I was ready for that. And postpartum is I think technically you are postpartum for 2 years. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Oh, God.
I believe that. I totally believe that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But what exactly, what's the definition?
Right. I would have to look that up for you. But that's what I read, that you're still considered recovering from postpartum, from pregnancy.
I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still feel like Chloe?
Yeah, I just had this conversation with Corey and Shanika yesterday where I had a meltdown moment because I still feel like I'm shackled to Campbell.
Yeah.
Even though she's a year, because I exclusively breastfeed and she will not take a bottle, not at all. And they go through so many moments of separation anxiety and all the rest of it. I can't be anywhere without her. I can't go anywhere for more than a few hours without her needing me, to the point Kyle tried to do everything he could for 40 minutes and she just was going nuts. And maybe some people would say, well, she'll get used to it eventually, but I just, I don't know I'm ready for that.
No.
And yeah, I still feel very much
postpartum.
A year in. And that's obviously not the same for everyone because some people wean a lot earlier and they can kind of have their life more back, or or they have to go back to work, so they have to put the baby in daycare and all the rest of it. But for my specific journey, and I think that's also been prolonged because we've been in a pandemic, and I feel like she's very much a pandemic baby. She doesn't know anything but these four walls. She doesn't know any of our family because none of our family has seen her. So she's very much reliant on us. And because we haven't been able to go anywhere, there's not been the need to have any separation. Yep. So yeah, I'm very much, but there's things that are definitely easier. My body feels a bit better now.
I thought about this yesterday too. I meant to ask you, have you tried, well, probably not, because now New York is just now becoming a little bit more open up. I was about to say, try giving it to her, having someone else give it to her at another place that wasn't home.
Well, I didn't bother pumping or anything because I pumped so much at the beginning. And I had a stash in my freezer and it just all went bad. I had it. And so it's just extra work that I didn't need to do. I had no need because obviously we weren't going anywhere. So I was I'm not going to do anything extra. I don't need to do that. I did try a non-dairy milk the other day. She wasn't having it. She was no.
They know the difference. I tried to put a pacifier in Grant's mouth today while he was still sleeping because he likes to comfort suck. And, I know there are some moms out there that are like, what's the big deal? I'm okay with it to a certain point, but I don't want, I personally don't want to get used to that because we are working mothers and life is starting. And so I tried to put that pacifier in his mouth and he sucked on it for a little bit. Then he said, and he opened up his eyes. He spit it out and he opened up his eyes and looked at me like, no, you didn't think that you were going to trick me.
Yep.
Now they've gotten genius. Now these pacifiers look like nipples. Like they are like
sneak attack though, not with the sneak attack when he's asleep.
While he was nursing, I tried to do that to Carver too. He was nursing and he had his eyes closed, and I was like, work. And he was doing that suck where I know he's not eating. He's just like pacifying. And so I was like, do, 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 do. And he went,
yeah.
He looked at me and he gave me the strongest side eye. And I was
Attitude.
Do you know what I'm going through now is like the last few days, I'm having a wrestling match with her and my boob, like trying to get her off, put her down for a nap. I am putting her up into sitting position. She's still attached. I'm standing up, still attached. She's just like going with me, and I'm like shoving my thumb in, like, get off. She is like wrestling.
Speaking of breastfeeding, have you guys tried your own breast milk? That is a mommy confession.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
Of course.
Kelsey said,
No, I haven't.
Kelsey said,
Really?
No.
You gotta try it. You got to do it.
it's so
like,
sweet.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, it tastes
Yeah. To me, it tastes like almond milk. I drink a lot of almond milk, so maybe that's why. But I was so surprised that it was sweet. I don't know.
Wow,
Yeah.
like milk is so scarce out here. I'm having a current shortage, so I'm not trying to waste it.
Listen, I understand. I do. Now I wasn't up there guzzling it, but I just wanted to see a little sip what the big deal was.
Okay, and then my question to you is, have you tried it when you've defrosted it from the freezer? Because mine, I was like, she wasn't taking it. So I'm like, let me just see. I mean, doesn't matter, whatever. She wasn't taking it any which way. However, I was like, let me see what it tastes like once it's defrosted. And it tasted gross. And maybe that's just mine doesn't freeze well, but it was not good.
No. They say, I remember our friend Steph Clemens was telling me that, you know, sometimes it can have a metallic-y taste, and some kids will take it no matter what, and some won't. So no, I don't think it's just yours. I think that it's just some kids don't care. I think Grant gets to a point sometimes where he's like, okay, I know I'm going to starve if I don't drink this milk, and he just does it. But it took him, sometimes he will not take the frozen milk. That's why I try not to have too much of it. You know, my nanny was like, girl, let's use this frozen milk so that you can, you know, build a stash because I'm going away to work. And I was like, I don't know. You might be mad at me if I leave you here with him and all this frozen milk and he's not going to drink it. So no, it's not just you. I think that there are just some kids don't care and some are just like, hell no, I want the fresh, you know?
Yeah. I've never tasted it, but that makes me curious now. I mean,
Taste it.
I will. Carver did finish a lot of the stash that I had built up for a little bit, but that was earlier in his life. Now he's got very strong opinions. So
Kelsey is like, y'all are crazy. I know they ain't over here drinking this breast.
No, I'm just laughing because I'm also like he's so much more mobile now. So it's just like a constant battle, like for him not to eat my AirPod and like my phone.
Oh yeah.
And he looks so innocent, like he's not doing anything.
He sure does, but we know those hands are busy.
Yeah. They are busy.
He's laughing.
How adorable.
Oh, that little smile. I can't deal with it.
OMG.
Now, you know, I have
Can you
another.
show him your teeth? Look at those teeth.
He's got the top ones coming in.
Yes.
And bottom.
4.
Whoa.
Yes, 4.
That's
Oh,
exciting. You know what though? But it's exciting for you because now when I saw Chloe give Campbell that cucumber yesterday, I was like, ooh, I cannot wait to just hand you a little treat and let you go on about your merry little way. That's exciting. Oh, yeah. Jackson, yes.
Jackson.
Corey, what were you saying? You had a question for her?
I was saying, no, I said I have another confession / I want to open up the forum for this one because this one was a hard one for me. I had major difficulty with my physical changes postpartum. I know we talked about like pregnancy and feeling, and I felt, really empowered and beautiful while I was pregnant also, but postpartum, I had a really hard time with it. I had super high expectations for like work. Like, I'm going to pop my baby out and then be like back dancing, and I just like, and I'm still struggling more so internally and spiritually. Like, the confidence moment for me in the places that have felt really comfortable are now a little bit different, and it's weird how I didn't realize how much I correlated what I looked like to how confident I felt dancing, which I never connected that at all. Like, I never felt like that was applicable to my life at all. And now that I've had a baby, like going back to class, especially in the very beginning when I was taking class, I just didn't feel confident because I was looking at myself and I was like, I don't know who this person is. I don't feel like I don't feel in my body. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just felt very outside of my body. And it's interesting because I kept reading all these things about like, you should just be like so happy that you've had a healthy baby and that your body carried this baby and did all of these amazing things for this baby. And you have to have grace with yourself and patience with yourself. And I really was trying to do that, but that was not something that came naturally to me at all. And I don't feel like I had as much grace as I wish I had with myself. And I think I was very, very anxious to get myself like back in the gym quickly, back to like the things that I felt familiar with, because I just was like, I don't think that I can be my best self if I'm feeling like this about myself when I look at myself in the mirror. And I was constantly feeling this battle between like, I shouldn't feel this way because I should just be really grateful that I've had a healthy baby and my body's been able to do that. But then also at the same time, I'm like, but I need my body to do what I love to do also. And I need to feel really confident in my body in order to do what I love also. So how do I have both of those things,
No, I can fully connect with that because every morning for me, now that I'm in rehearsal, is I have to go through a moment of self-talk, pep talk, because I can't wear what I want because I'm pumping at rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
So the type of shirt, the type of bra, like, me, I love a midriff top, honey, and a little sports bra and an okay? I like to have the abs out and the legs out and the thing. And it's like, I have to really be strategic about what I'm going to wear because I know I'm not going to have time to change into a pumping bra, to put the pumps in. I'm not going to, I probably should wear a bigger t-shirt because it's going to look crazy if I have like a stretch athletic shirt on. So it is like so frustrating to not just dress, because you're right, especially us being dancers. Well, and I would imagine, Kelsey, too, even with acting and wanting to look a particular way when you're doing your self-tapes and your roles, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I connect the way I'm going to walk in the room with what I'm wearing. You know what I mean? Like, I need to dress a particular way so that I can dance a particular way. And it's been so interesting having to not being able to wear the things that I enjoy wearing that make me feel my best in a room. It's led to inspiration because now I'm like, I guess I need to create it because it doesn't exist. We're not even going to start with maternity and nursing clothes and the moo-moo culture that exists within them that are not very friendly to breastfeeding moms and moms that enjoy like fashion and things like that. It is so annoying that we don't have those options that are also functional. You know what I mean?
Like frumptyfrump.com.
Yeah.
With these
you can have the option. It's like you gotta choose. And it's like we should be able to have all of it. You know what I mean? I should be able to want to feel like I can be in my sexy midriff, but I can pop this right on off and do what I need to do. It doesn't exist. You either have to have this frumpy nursing tank top that also costs $70 for a plain ass frump nursing top that I'm not going to wear after I finish breastfeeding this kid. Or I got to decide I'm going to change. And I'm just like, I don't want to feel that way. I want to be able to walk in the room and feel my best. I've had to like just have a pep talk with myself every single day. And it is tiring and exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to wear a big shirt. I want to wear, and feel good with what I'm dancing in. But I was like, I just got to get over it. This is my life, at least until January of 2022. And, it is what it is. I take advantage when I get to go out. I try to not wear a nursing, a nursing shirt or something like that. But, I don't know. I know, Kelsey, I'm interested in like how that feels for you, Kelsey, especially because like you're doing, much more on the TV film end of it. Like, do you ever have that moment?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I used to, I totally feel the same. Even like you, Aquarius, Shanika, you had Robert in town, and I was, in a bathing suit for the first time. And I was like, I don't feel terrible. I feel fine, whatever. And I was like looking at pictures. I was like, God, like, it was like I was like, oh, what body is that? Like, what is, it was very like, oh God, I can't look. No thanks. Like, not putting those out there.
That's so funny. I had a bathing suit moment too, because I had a bathing suit that was a one piece that when I was smaller didn't really fit me the way I want, because I got that high apple booty. So sometimes things just fit real funky on me, But I was because I don't have boobs. So when I buy one pieces, because I got the apple booty, I have to go one size up from what the boob is, right? But I was like, oh, I got these hips now. I got these boobs now. This thing is going to fit good. But then I forgot about that pregnant booty dude. I forgot about the fact that little muffin is not quite a flat muffin, okay? So I went to put it on and I thought I was going to be all cute. Woo-hoo. You better know it went in that Goodwill pile. I said, never wearing that. Nope. That's out.
Gosh. Look, that's real. And also too, like today, for instance, Wayne and I went to brunch, and then we went walking around, and there's like this artisan market outside of Brooklyn Museum where all of these people who make a lot of different things are out there. And this woman had these gorgeous, like handmade, hand-painted jumpsuits and jackets from Nigeria. Like the fabrics were from Nigeria and they were so cute. And I looked at them, I was like, ooh, that's so cute. And it's like this little halter moment. And the first thought I had when I looked at it was like, can I breastfeed in this thing? Because like, all I want to do is just like wear a cute outfit. And most of my clothes now, like amazingly, been able to like put them on. They don't look great, but I've been able to put them on now. But when I'm trying to go out and I want to look cute, I really have to rotate the same like 3 or 4 tops because I have to be able to breastfeed him. Like I can't wear a dress that I can't easily like take off or do whatever. And I was like, all I want to do is just to be able to like buy something where I don't have to think about that. And I ended up buying the jumpsuit anyway, because I was like, I'm going to make this work for myself.
Yes.
I have to like pull one boob out and hold the other one up like this. I'm wearing this jumpsuit.
That is so fierce. I admire you for that, girl. I've passed up so many things. I haven't even gone shopping for myself. I said, forget it. I was like, just forget it because I can't wear the little. And then I'm like, dang, well, how did I dress it? I used to be dressing a little scantily clad all the time because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want all the little like
the little crop tops, little bralettes. Yeah. Bralette days are over. I'll never wear a bralette again.
I just want to say that welcome to my life, guys. Anyone that's listening that has big boobs, welcome. This is how my whole life has been in terms of trying to find things to wear and things that are supportive and all the rest of it. That is literally my life. So I've been dealing with it for a long time.
Well, honey, you always looking good, always looking cute.
Thing. But if you could put some links for the bras, because I've already reached out to a lot of my friends who have bigger boobs about the bra moment, because this is not a ministry that I am accustomed to, because
you should have asked me. I know all the bras.
I know you know all of them, because I was the itty bitty titty committee. Like all of my little Lulu tops that have my built-in bras, my boobs are actually devouring those tops now. I'm like, I try to like do one little skip and my boobs are like this.
So I would say, like, it's hard finding nursing bra. Like, I'm so over my nursing bras. I can't stand them, and everything looks terrible with them.
With them on, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is what I just cannot wait to be able to just go out in a normal bra.
Yes.
The simple things, right? Just the simple things that you never thought that you would be like, I just want to wear a normal ass bra.
Yes.
Like, it's so real. And then it looks like a bandage. It's just like, why do they have to be so ugly? And I found a lacy little nursing bra number. It was cute. But how you can't wear that damn thing more than you can't wear it with every top. You know, it just is like, it's just pointless. You know what I mean? Because I just,
does it have underwires?
No, it doesn't. It's really made almost like a bralette. But once your breasts are full of milk,
it's not right.
You almost are kind of like, I need a little bit more support than this.
Yeah,
you know?
It's not going to
work. Very cute, but it's once again, how can we match cute with functional? If there are any investors out there, please hit me up, because I am ready to have a conversation about how we can do cute and functionality. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody do it.
We're going to start the Mother Love line, okay? We are ready.
That's great.
We're trying to build generational wealth anyway. Like, we're ready. Get at us.
Yes.
Anywho, ladies, this has been so fun. I know you guys got to get back to your babes and everything like that. Can we just give ourselves like a round of applause, because we've made it. Season 1 of Mother is now complete.
Oh my gosh.
Like, by the grace of God and all the scheduling gods that exist, we have made it. And we want to say thank you to each and every listener and viewer that has, supported us on this journey and allowed us to share our stories and have been so open. We haven't got one hate mail or any judgmental type of comment on anything we've done. I've seen nothing but love, 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 love. And we are so appreciative of that. I would think we want to say thank you to our husbands too. When they have to like grab the babes, while we film this, and just being supportive of us while we do this too, and being our awesome partners in this.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Oh, hush. Look at that. Thank you and you're welcome. Like, just walking past. They just supposed to be in the bed. But anyways. And thank you to yourselves. Like, we should give ourselves a pat on the back. Like, we did that. We made space for ourselves, made room for ourselves to freaking do this thing. And y'all don't even know, listeners, like, we were determined. We would be in that group chat being like, okay, girl, that ain't gonna work for me. Okay, can you do Wednesday? Oh, can you do Sunday? Oh, okay, you did it. Okay, that ain't gonna work for me. And our special guest, Hetty, Jackie, Kiwa, like, thank you for giving us your time and for doing it for free. Thank you to Shire for editing these videos for us and just being so awesome with that. Am I forgetting anybody, you guys? Are we forgetting anybody? I think that's it. Thank you to our babies. We wouldn't have a reason to do this podcast if you had it coming to our little bellies, you little nuggets that should be sleeping.
Carver's
Not here with mommy. You should be sleeping. But anyways, do you guys have anything you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to say that I love you ladies. Y'all have been such a safe space for me in this time. I feel, this podcast did so much more for me than maybe it did for people listening. I don't even know. But for me personally, I just really needed to have this camaraderie during this time, especially because I feel that we were having babies in in such a wild and tumultuous time. And the fact that I could always rely on us being able to have our moment together. And that's really how this started, organically, with us just chatting it up and then just deciding that it was a good thing that we shared this. And so I just feel so thankful for you ladies, and so thankful for your honesty and your commitment to this, even when we were all like so busy and trying to make it work. And I love you all. And I just am looking forward to continuing to grow in this journey with y'all and our babies to grow up together. And it's just been such a pleasure. I'm proud of us.
Yep.
And I have to say thank you to Robert Hartwell, because if it wasn't for him putting us all in a text chain and being like, y'all all are going through the same postpartum craziness. Y'all need to start a podcast and talk about it. Like, shout out to Robert Hartwell for just recognizing that we all needed community and that we needed each other
Robert
to share this experience with. So we are grateful to him as well. Kelsey, Chloe, anything else? All right.
I said it all.
You said it best.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you to all of I'm going to coin this term. Our listeners, season 2, you're going to call yourself Mutha Luvas. We're going to make this a thing. I just love it so much. But stay tuned. Please follow our Instagram. Please listen to, go to our YouTube, like, share, subscribe, comment, and be on the lookout, because we'll have some little specialties that will be, bubbling around while we wait for season 2. But until then, stay blessed and peace, love, and happiness. Bye.
Bye.
To stay connected to all things Mother, follow us on Instagram at motherlove_. That's MUTHALOVE_. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube and podcast platform pages. Thanks for listening.